Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be taking a small tour of a small farm in Charlton Hatch near Canterbury called the Worcesters. We've known Sheila and Roy for quite some time, and they're going to show us around their farm, and we're going to see the pigs, the chickens, the turkeys and all the other things they've been up to. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because I'll give you lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. And like today, I sometimes visit places of interest. So Sheila and Roy moved to the Worcesters during lockdown, and I'll let Sheila tell you her story as to why they decided to buy this small farm and decided to live the good life. So we're going to walk up to Sheila and Roy now. So we're going to walk up through the gates and meet her at her little bungalow that she's got on her land. So let's see. Oh, look, the gates are open, so we can just walk through. They were expecting us, so that's really good. So as we walk round, you can see why they're so famous is obviously they've got all these lovely apple trees here, and they've got all the apples which they obviously sell and they make an income from. So there's actually a few apples left on there, but most of the apples have been picked because it's the end of October. So most of the apples have all been obviously sold onto market, or locals come and pick the apples and buy the apples. So that's one of the ways they earn their money. So we're nearly up to the cottage. We've got a couple of geese just over there, having a little nosy eye on us as we're walking up. Like guard dogs. And it sounds like they've got a couple of guard dogs as well. You can see some of the turkeys looking at us through the barn there. They're obviously wondering what's going on. So let's give Sheila a knock. Let's hope she's here and she's not out on the farm somewhere, otherwise we're going to be looking for her. So let's give her a knock. Sheila, hi there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank
Good
you.
to see you again. Sheila and Roy, her husband, we've known them for quite some years now. We have a business together. Obviously separate to this, it's something else that we do that's self-employed. And Sheila bought a farm during lockdown, and I'm going to let her tell you why that happened. So why did you buy this farm? What was it all about? Is it something you've always dreamed about? Had you...
Well, in a funny way it was, but I'd completely forgotten that dream because it was just too impossible. But somehow the farm found us, and that some friends who were moving said, you must have a look at these details, why don't you move with us? Seemed like a good idea at the time, so we did have a look at the details, loved the idea, but that wasn't available. But by then Mr. Google knew what ticked our box, and so we were kind of sent details of several other places.
Okay.
And this was gorgeous because it's really near where we lived before, so we haven't lost any of our networks. It provides a business ready to go, and we're here in business with our two lads in their early 20s who are too young really to take this kind of thing on at this stage, but would love to another day. So it's a bit of a team effort.
Fantastic, so it's really great. And
Yeah.
you moved during lockdown, so how long have you been here?
We've been here just over a year. We did move in lockdown. It took us 6 months or more to get the infrastructure that was already here but not in use, to get it up and running before we had any livestock, and we took on 1,800 hens at the end of March, just as the poultry lockdown was finishing as a result of avian flu that happened last Christmas.
So good timing then.
Yeah.
Good timing. I remember when they bought it, you know, it was a farm, but it wasn't being worked. So everything you see here is thanks to Sheila and Roy putting everything in place, obviously with the help and support of the community, because things like this don't run if you don't have other people that know what they're doing as well.
Yeah.
So if we take a walk up to the polytunnel to look at what's been growing up there.
Just get my boots on.
Okay, so you've got your polytunnel up here. You're saying you've been doing no dig.
That's right.
It's something I don't do actually. I'm a bit of a digger. I like a good dig. It's a bit of a joke really. So how's that worked for you?
Well, it was new to me as well, only because someone else suggested it, and what with having just moved, it was pretty much our only option. The veg patch was just a mass of weeds. We had a lot of cardboard because we'd just unpacked, and we had a lot of chicken manure because the sheds where the chickens previously had not been cleaned out. So actually it came to me again rather than me chasing down the no dig technique. But like you, I grew up digging. It's very therapeutic. Quite enjoy it. I can see the point that it's not necessarily as good for the land as you might think, but I still can't help myself, maybe.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the weeds still come back all the time.
Yeah, I think that's one you can guarantee. Whatever method you choose, you will still get weeds.
Yeah.
You just have to choose which way you want to manage it, really.
And to be fair, I didn't have to weed it that winter. I literally did plant directly into the manure, and had good crops.
Excellent. Well, that's what it's all about, really. There's not a lot in the polytunnel at the moment, so we won't take a look. But you did grow some really good stuff, didn't you?
Tomatoes, aubergines, early peas and broad beans, potatoes, early potatoes. Yeah, that's good. Oh, and lots of lettuce. None of that is still here, I'm afraid.
Well, yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it? Things are finishing off a little bit more. And maybe you'll have a few bits that overwinter next year, but it all takes time to put everything in place. So I think the geese are calling to us. Let's go.
You'd like to talk to the geese, would you?
Yeah.
They will talk to you.
When you talk to me. So what do you do with the geese?
We bring them in at night, let them out in the morning, we feed them, and put up with them mostly. We've already sold a few for Christmas, and we hope the others will soon find Christmas homes to go to.
Yeah, well, and some of them are for eating, and also you do when you get them. They're coming over to say hello.
The trick with geese is not to let them frighten you.
No.
They're actually more scared of you.
Oh. I know ones I've seen in the past, they make a lot of noise, but yeah.
So these are all this year's geese. The parents live separately because they don't actually all get on that well. So we have another goose enclosure.
So obviously welfare is really important to Sheila and Roy. That's one of the reasons why they want to do this kind of system, is so that, as you can see, they've got plenty of room to roam free. In the summer they've had campers here actually, and they've got a composting toilet, so they're doing everything to actually get people living this kind of experience for themselves, which is really lovely. We move up to the free-range chickens that they've got. Again, you know, they roam free. They obviously have to be kept in an area for their own safety, and they have a barn that they go into at night, or if they want shelter during the day, obviously to keep them safe. Because there's obviously a lot of predators out there that would take a lot of your chickens all in one go if you didn't keep them safe at night.
We have to put them in every night, let them out in the morning, and they're fed 4 times a day, and we have a lot of eggs to collect.
Yeah, they obviously must get to forage all around the orchards there, which are absolutely lovely. I mean, the chickens, that's got to be absolutely fantastic. As you can see, they're quite excited to see people walking up to them.
These guys have got 2.5 acres of apple orchard to enjoy, but they like company, so they'll come running over.
Oh yeah, look! Like chicken run.
Yeah.
Yeah, very excited chickens to see some new visitors.
Come on in, girls. They're all girls, no cockerels.
How long does it take for you to get them all in the evening, or do they just take themselves in?
We wait till dark and they take themselves in then.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get ahead of the game and get them in early, they are resistant.
Okay. So
but you have to get it bang on dark.
Bit like us, really. You know when it's time to go to bed.
Yes. But they're lovely, aren't they? Come on, girls.
All very curious.
Here come the geese. They like a bit of fun too.
So if we move over to the turkeys that Sheila's got as well, so we can take a look at those. So we're now over to the turkeys, and if Sheila can tell us a little bit about the turkeys, what type of turkeys are they?
They're bronze turkeys. They will be ready for Christmas. They came here about end of August, and we look after them in collaboration with another experienced turkey farmer, because remember, this is our first year in business, so we don't want to learn too many lessons the hard way. We look after the turkeys here. We've got a quota that we are committed to selling as part of that arrangement, so please message me if you'd like one. And we're enjoying it. They're cute animals, they really are. Look at them.
I'm amazed how excited they are to see us. I think it's a really important point that should be highlighted, that farming is not easy, especially when you first start doing it, and to be able to collaborate with other people that have got skills and money is really, really important, because you could quite easily fail if you didn't do your homework properly or had really good backing. She said to me that the only way she can afford to do this is because she was able to buy the farm outright, and she has a residual income, so she doesn't have to worry as much about money than other people do. But her children, for instance, couldn't do it without their parents' support, because it's very expensive to get into this industry. You know, all the things that you need. I think Jeremy Clarkson highlighted it. Without some kind of backing or some kind of support, it's really tough, and even then it's still really tough. And that's how we know Sheila and Roy. We actually do the same business together, which helps us earn money part-time. So we will put some links in the description if people are curious about what we do. But it's something that helps Sheila live the life she wants to live, and it helps my husband and I live the life that I want to live, so that I can grow my own fruit and vegetables and not have to do the normal 9 to 5.
And we're in a position to support our boys who, you know, there's no way they could afford this until they're retired, which is when we can afford it, but we haven't got necessarily the same energy and enthusiasm and muscles.
Yeah. So when will these turkeys be ready?
December. I think they'll be prepped from the 9th of December. Yeah, my husband's a butcher, so he knows what he's been doing. He's been working with this turkey farmer in his butchery capacity each year for some years already, so it's a relationship we're familiar with. And collaboration is very important, I think. The community of farming is very supportive to one another. They're all looking forward to Christmas.
Yeah, they do look quite lovely actually, and some of them are really showing off a little bit now, aren't they? Look, picking out feathers, I think, you know, if you're going to get a turkey this year, if you can afford it, to get one from an environment like this has got to be the way to go, because they've got so much freedom and fresh air and natural environment. It's just you know, poles apart from anything, you know, intensively reared, really.
It's better for you because of the range of nutrients that are in naturally grown animals, but it's also better for the land that they're on. It's better for the environment, and keep your food chains short. Buy local.
Okay, where should we go next, Sheila? Should we go inside there?
Would you like to go inside and see them?
We'll go inside. We'll go and see the pigs in a minute. Yeah? So we're in the barn where the turkeys get to sleep. Again, like chickens, it's really important that they're locked up at night, otherwise a predator could hurt them. And also, you know, being outside in the dark's not very nice for them. They can also come in at any point during the day if they want a little bit of shelter. As you can see, they've got loads of room to move around, and some of them actually prefer to be in here during the day even still. So, you know, it's up to the turkeys to come and go as they please, but obviously at night they need to be locked in. Is there anything you wanted to say about that?
Not really. They're more fragile than you'd think. We've already lost a few, which is very sad. But it's part of farming. Not all of them will survive to their destination.
You know, I think it's part of farming that people don't want to accept happens really, but it's part of life, part of nature. But you do sadly lose a few, and no one likes to see that happen, but at least you know you've given them the best life and they've had the best environment while they've been here, which is the most important thing at all. Obviously they can come in and get their feed there. That's another important thing. The feed has to be indoors, because obviously when it rains it could get wet and it would go so hard and mushy. I've got chickens, and when the cap comes off sometimes we end up losing some of our feed, but obviously that's quite important as well.
They have permanent feed and water all the time, and it's all automated to make sure it doesn't run out.
Yeah, so they've always got plenty of food and water. When we came round we could hear it going through the tubes to refill it all up, so they've constantly got as much food and water as they need all the time, because obviously that'd be quite a lot to keep a check on if you had to do it yourself. Right, we have a very curious turkey looking at the cameraman, so I think we're going to make a speedy retreat and we're going to go and see the pigs and the piglets now. So we're now where the pigs are kept. As you can hear, they're a little bit excited they've got visitors. So there's a few little piglets just over here which are quite lovely. would you call them weaners at that age?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, weaners. I'll let Sheil tell you a bit more about why the pigs are here and how that all works, because obviously she knows more than I do.
So some friends of ours are peripatetic farmers. So without having their own land, they move from one land rent to another. They've got some cows elsewhere and some goats elsewhere, and we have their pigs. These are large blacks, and they're enjoying their life here. Do have a look.
As you can hear. And you know, like Sheil said, if it wasn't for people collaborating and doing what Sheil does, people like that couldn't keep animals, you know, and they've got young children, they want to bring their children up to experience this kind of environment. And as you can tell, are all a little bit excited to see us. So there's obviously the older ones here. We've got various piglets over here, different ages. You can see some are a bit bigger than the ones over there. They think we might be bringing the food, which we're not, unfortunately.
It wasn't us they were excited about.
No, that was a shame. I thought they were excited to see us, they were being fed, that was it. So the young man we were talking about has just arrived and is giving them their daily feed.
These are all large black pigs. They're a native breed of pig. All 13 breeds of pig in the UK are all either critically endangered or on the vulnerable list because they're not used for mainstream farming. But they make brilliant meat and they turn low quality food into high quality meat. They just do it a lot slower than the commercial pig, which is why they're not used in every day. But these guys live outdoors all year round. They've got the best lives eating all the apples. We've just fed them this week, oh goodness, a whole trailer full of pumpkins from our friend's farm who just finished her pick your own pumpkin. There are loads of smashed ones and they've just been nibbling them, so they get all sorts of extra goodies and things, and it makes the meat all the better for it, really. The nice thing we like about this is that they're allowed to exhibit their natural behaviour. You know, you wouldn't see this and in many places that nowadays. You see them in outdoor pig farms and things, but most of the meat you see in the supermarket, pigs that have been outdoors. And I think that's terrible, really, when you see them rooting around in the mud like this. It's what they should be doing.
Yeah, definitely. That's what's said about the whole farm, the way everything is allowed to roam, you know, roam freely and to live the best life that it could possibly live.
Indeed, indeed, and it makes a genuine difference to the final product. You know, all of these piglets here will be going for meat, and the taste from all the different things they've eaten comes across in the meat, particularly in the layer of fat. You know, this time of year, the autumnal pigs we kill, from all the apples they've eaten, they're so sweet compared to the summer pigs that have eaten more grass, and they've got a different flavour again. So it's really interesting.
So it's more seasonal.
Absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
Well, we will put a link in the description of your company, so if people want to take a look for themselves, because this is just a snapshot, and it was actually a real treat that you were here today, because we didn't know you were going to be here, so it was an added plus. So to see the pigs being fed, that's fantastic. But it's really great to talk to you. So I just want to thank Sheil for inviting us to look around the farm. As you can see, the turkeys are more than curious to see us. I think they're quite lovely. Being picked at the moment. If you've got any questions or queries, as always, please do comment and we'll do our best to answer those queries. And we will put plenty of links in the description if you want to look at other aspects that we've talked about. Because we realise that we've only touched on a lot of the areas of farming and some of the areas we've talked about. So I hope this has been interesting to everyone. And if you haven't already liked and subscribed, if you could please do so.